Minutes Meatloaf episode
I don't know.
18. Mike's prepared.
Yes.
Mike's pouring himself some Dr. What is that? Is that Dr. Pepper?
Sweet tea.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Home sweetened or store bought?
Come on.
Oh, wait, that's unleaded though, isn't it?
Seriously? Yeah, it is decaf.
It is decaf.
Yeah, the wife likes the decaf tea.
Well,
She makes it.
all the tea in your home is decaffeinated.
It tastes the same to me. I can't.
Did you get that picture I tweeted you the other day? By the way, here as we get started,
The hazelnut.
at SJ McClure, or you can follow us at Manhands. I'm on
A quest to
a
hit.
quest to hit like
How many followers?
19.
How many followers do you have on Twitter for real?
Well, they're actual humans. I don't know. I think the total number is
Okay.
123.
So you and Justin Bieber. You're not exactly
It's,
sure.
it's neck and neck.
Half of your followers.
That's right, they're probably bots,
Are just
yeah.
weird.
You have like 400, don't you?
No, not quite. No, I'm getting close to that. I'm coming up on.
I'm on like
not there
120, yeah.
Oh,
And
you're
I
getting there.
have an odd hodgepodge of
yet. You're getting there.
people and spam bots that follow me, so I would love it. If I could hit like, I don't know, 200.
Is that what you want?
No, what I
385.
want is like 1.5 million.
That's where I'm at, 385.
I want 1.5 million.
Do you really want that?
Sure, I do.
Because with 1.5 million followers comes great responsibility.
I'm ready for it, Peter Parker. I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
Uncle Ben. I guess you'd be Uncle Ben. I guess wouldn't you? I'd be Peter
Like the
Parker.
rice.
Probably, I think it's important. I do think it's important here at the outset to obviously extend thoughts to, again, kind of another. Let's see. This will probably go up. This will probably publish a
The
little bit.
victims of Piper. Is
A
that what
little
you're
bit.
thinking?
We'll talk about that for sure. Although at this point, I feel like I'm spent.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about
This will probably publish a couple weeks after the event, but of course, our thoughts with folks in Oklahoma and the devastation. It's been a lot, and yeah, it's funny. The more I've read about Piper, and to bring, if anybody's out there who doesn't know what we're talking about, there's a minister in Bethlehem,
Minnesota.
I think it's Bethlehem. John Piper. He's, I think, what people today would call a neo-Calvinist. I think he probably just called himself a Calvinist. He probably would say I'm just a Christian who believes the Bible. Anyway, John Piper tweeted in the wake of the events in Oklahoma, the tornado in Oklahoma, tweeted a couple of verses from Job. About, I think specifically about walls falling on children, and we shaved our heads and mourned. And he has in the past talked about, a la Pat Robertson and back in the day Jerry Falwell, etc., talked about things happening because God was mad for things we did, whatever.
You know what was interesting? I'm not sure if we're going to go there or not.
You can go wherever
About
you want.
the
Yeah.
day of the tornado there. I happened to be at home with my son, and we're having just watching the news, right? And they clipped to local Oklahoma City news. Like there's a helicopter in the air showing you the tornado as it's happening.
Oh my God!
I mean, it was kind of it was kind of weird because you're watching it and thinking, well, this is not footage from yesterday. This is like something happening right now. That tornado is whipping through there,
right?
And then like we were watching at the end when it actually started to go back up into the sky. And they're just showing raw footage of what happened below. It was weird, and the newsman's getting kind of tore up there in the helicopter, and I mean, it was too real. Like I thought, I think I need a buffer. I feel like I needed I wish I was watching even like 30 minutes later to think this wasn't happening at this exact moment as people were coming out of the rubble. They're showing it on the news, and I'm like,
Lori,
should we be watching this?
Yeah, Lori texted me the same thing. I think it was probably the day after, a couple days after. There was some, I think, in the same way, live, unedited, raw footage of kids. I think parents looking for kids.
Yeah.
And she texted me that it was just too much. She had to turn it off. And it is a weird, and this is a slightly different angle, but yeah, it is a weird. It's a weird thing to be so connected and so present with every part of the world. It's something that even 60, 70 years ago, 50 years ago, even 40 years ago, would not have happened in the same way. There would have been this like you say, a buffer or some distance between the events. And then because it's a weird thing to be this far removed from it, but then to feel like you are there.
Well, that was the thing, is maybe we don't need the buffer. I mean, because it made me, as I was sitting there and realized my son, who's 9, and I were just kind of speechless.
Ah, sure. Yeah.
Like awestruck watching this as these kids were running out and hugging teachers and whoever else was there.
Right.
And I thought this would be like if we were happened to be on the scene.
Right.
But I want him to be seeing all this. I mean,
No, sure. Yeah.
you know, so it's kind of like in some way yes, in some way no. Let's find something else for now.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about just a bit what was happening, what was going on, but then we kind of, it was just kind of, this is a lot to take in, especially seeing it live. You don't know what is about to happen. Anyway, it was just an odd way of, I really feel for those folks.
No, for sure. Yeah.
So
it is a lot, and I think it's been as I sit here now, it's funny because I read some more stuff about Piper today, and I realized,
I've just stopped.
Yeah.
I just stopped reading about him or Pat or anybody else that just just makes these.
Well, I think what Pat Robertson said, which made me bananas. I read a post by someone else. He said if people prayed more, because you think, well, would the storm have just bounced around to towns that weren't praying very hard? Would it be some kind of weird spiritual pinball, like Jesus just kind of directing the storm?
Right. That's how you can tell who the faithful ones are. Really.
That's right. Yeah.
Bad things that happen to
God's map looks totally different than ours. Well, it's like a layer on Google Maps. There's a layer for prayerfulness.
And this is a serious topic, but to make it even, kind of take it to the extreme, this is where you get into both football teams are praying for a win.
That's right. Sure.
Which one does God give the win to?
Right. It's funny you
or
say
does
that.
He really kill us?
That's funny you say that because I was watching an interview with one of the guys from Golden State.
Yeah.
A young fella, really good guy, whatever. And his coach, Mark Jackson.
Stephon Curry?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And his coach, Mark Jackson, formerly played with whomever. I think the Knicks or someone. Anyway, he said, God's hand is on this team.
Okay.
And I laughed at first.
Well, it didn't say that they were going to win. Maybe he was just...
Well, no, it was in the context of... because it was the night before there was a game.
How'd you guys do so well? Well, God's hand's on this team.
Right. We're a team of destiny. And that's a weird thing because I'm at a place in my life where I want Mark Jackson to just pursue his faith whatever way he thinks he should, right? So that's great.
Right.
But then I'm also like, really? Is God's hand... I mean...
Would you prefer if he Tebowed right there at midcourt?
Maybe. Yeah, because I guess at least Tebowing is like thanks instead of... It's like, at least it's in... Well, even that's kind of weird because are you saying God helped you score the touchdown? Like it was God's will for you to score the touchdown?
I think all that stuff just gets weird. I mean...
And what I thought, too, is I think the biggest thing is back to the tornado and all these sort of horrible things. I think a lot of Christians in America are afraid to say it's just a mess. Right? They're afraid to say, I don't know why, or we have to have an answer for everything right now. You know what I mean to say?
Right.
Oh, there it is. There's one. Don't know what I mean to say. Sometimes things just suck,
Yeah, things just happen. I mean, as a result of the fall, or however you want to categorize it. But
sure.
I don't know. You can put some kind of easy. It happened because this community is committing this sin, or because these people forgot to pray this morning. As they eat breakfast or whatever.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think that's fair
to
the people or to God or anybody involved with it. Things happen.
Things do happen, yeah. So tell me about your week. Any parts you want to share with me and the rest of
Hello, world.
Meatloaf world.
My week?
World. Sure.
Just because we've...
It's been almost exactly a week since you and I spoke. And we were at the table last.
It feels like yesterday.
Well, because I could go down therapy lane if you want. I'm giving you a chance to kind of
to keep us away from the ledge.
It's up to you because I could talk because I've been thinking about last week's episode, which I don't think has even been broadcast yet. It's ready to be. It's just about to come out of the oven. But I've been thinking about it a little bit. But I want to give you a minute before we jump into that.
I think my week has been mostly uneventful. Oh.
I knew. See, I knew. Just had a feeling.
Yeah, I have a blog post waiting, but I have not hit publish because I'm just trying to think.
Is it one you're scared about?
I just want to think it through before I do it. I just saw on Tuesday. I watched Star Trek
Into Darkness.
The Piercing the Darkness.
Do you want to talk about whether you liked it or not?
Yeah, I can do that.
You want to start there? Did you like it?
Are you a Star Trek fan?
No.
See, I'm a Star Trek fan.
Can you be both? You can be a Star Trek and Star Wars?
I don't have a problem with
it. You don't. They tend to take sides, don't they?
I mean, I'm not dressing up as Klingons or Jedis. You know what I mean? But I like them both. I had appreciation in different ways for both. I like different things about both.
Can you say which one you like more? Can
Really?
you? Yeah, I'm asking.
You want to do that? Which of your children do you like more? You want to say that now? Huh?
Is that how you see Star Trek and Star Wars?
They're so different. I don't see them. I know they're both science fiction.
I like
fantasy.
Star Wars more. That's easy for me.
Okay, see, I think Star Wars is fun, but sometimes it's kind of cheesy.
Okay.
Like some of the names are kind of
Sure.
cheesy, and some of the aliens that
Star
George
Trek
Lucas
is not
invents.
cheesy.
Jar Jar Binks trumps anything
Sure.
Star Trek could have ever thought of.
Sure.
And then there's the Ewoks. I mean, so you've got some things there that
Right.
put it in the cheese realm, but I still love it.
Okay.
Right? And I appreciate it. For Star Trek, it feels more maybe nerdy.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of the Next Generation, not so much
Right,
the
that's
original
Patrick Stewart.
series. Yeah, Jean-Luc Picard.
Right.
Engage.
Right.
So it was watching the first Star Trek movie. I'm excited about Abrams restarting the brand
Yes.
and all this kind of stuff, and I like a lot of stuff he's done in the past. And so the first movie, basically erasing the entire timeline.
Well, it kind of took. Yeah, he could do whatever he wanted, couldn't he?
Right. So he got rid of the Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine. Those things all just got erased.
Okay.
And he can now do anything he wants to do, right?
Right.
And so I was like, whoa, wow, because I don't really like James T. Kirk.
Right.
That's right. I just said it.
right.
I find him a little annoying. I mean, I'm a Picard fan.
And this is Chris Pine in this iteration.
Yeah,
right?
whatever.
Right.
His name is. He's nameless to me now. I let this stew too long. Anyway, I was open to it. First movie, I'm open to it. Let's see where this goes. Let's just see.
What'd you think after you saw the first movie?
I said I was open. I was kind of like,
okay.
It felt a lot more
I
like
got you.
Transformers
Okay, yeah.
than it did Star Trek.
But you were okay with that?
But I'm like, you know what? They're trying to bring in other fans, people who are new to this, who've never watched Star Trek. 'Cause obviously, there aren't enough Star Trek fans to keep an actual TV show going or keep a movie thing going. So they have to bring in some others.
Right.
So I'm open to that. Right. So I'm open. And then the second movie, it really just kind of irritated me. I mean, it felt like they've made caricatures out of some of these characters.
Sure.
And it's not. It's a Transformers movie. It's Fast and Furious. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
But it doesn't feel like Star Trek to me. But then they'll throw in these things, these apparent homages, to the old Star Trek.
Oh, I've heard about that.
And it's kind of like it feels like cheap shots.
It was just
to
like
me.
a collage of them, though. Just like a mishmash of these tips of the hat to all the old Star Trek.
And it was
stuff.
like on the first movie, it was kind of fun. It was like, oh, they're honoring, the old Star Trek. But now it feels like they don't really know anything about the old Star Trek. They're just like, somebody gave them a list of phrases and said, if you could, just kind of throw these in there somewhere.
So are we talking like the whole thing with damn it, I'm not a Dr. Jim or
yes,
that kind of thing?
Like every 5 minutes, that's all he speaks in is these colloquial metaphors.
I got you. Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's the only way he can speak, and they kind of acknowledge it, but it's kind of like, well, you've made his character now pointless.
Right. And Carl Urban's a good actor. Doesn't he play the Doctor?
Maybe, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Yeah, I like the guy that plays Spock. I like the Spock character.
Jeremy Quinto, I think. Yeah.
I think he's done really, really good.
Now I heard the villain in this movie was good.
I thought he
or
did well
acted
too,
or whatever. Yeah.
And I didn't mind how they kind of rethought. He's an old villain.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so they kind of re-imaged him, and I didn't mind that because
Okay.
it made it interesting.
Right. So is this a subject of the blog post you're waiting on?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're fine. I thought,
No, I wasn't expecting some
thought
huge
it was-
backlash from the world. No, but after the movie, I walked out, and
That's funny.
and Angela could tell I was just really irritated.
I'm
And
curious.
I was like, I'm just gonna let this soak for a bit before I make judgment. But
I'm gonna try to see real quick. I'm curious what it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know. I haven't looked
Because I've tried to kind of not keep track, but I've kept an eye on what people thought of the movie. I don't want to see it. I really have no desire, just because I don't care about. I mean, we saw the reboot Star Trek. Well, I guess that was just called Star Trek, and it was fun, lots of action stuff. But I didn't make any connections with the past or whatever.
Right. So I'm sure people who are watching this, they've never watched the TV shows or past movies. It's just kind of a fun action movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Science fiction action movie. But others is well, you could have put any name on this you wanted to.
So what do you think it got on Rotten Tomatoes? What do you think it got? Ballpark it.
60.
87.
And
the first one got 95.
See?
J.J. Abrams is kind of the King Midas right
Yeah, what
now,
do you think
isn't
he does? Right.
Which I will say I really enjoyed Super 8.
I
think
back
he was
in the day.
behind that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was one of his early things.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The kids with the camera and the
Yeah.
aliens, yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. I like a lot of what he's done. And I think if I had gone into it, I think I need to unplug. I need to go into this and be like, you know what, this is not Star Trek. Don't imagine Star Trek. Don't even think about it. Right? Riker's gone. Worf is gone. Geordi LaForge, he's gone.
Yeah.
You're not going to get those guys ever again.
Are you?
All you've got are the worst parts of Kirk. The parts you hated the most, that's what you've got. Yeah.
Are you
And
nervous?
then just go from there.
Are you nervous that J.J. Abrams has Star Wars too? Like that he commands the
Oh,
whole
man.
sort
Wouldn't
of...
that be weird? Why has he been given such power?
Because of...
He will now be able to control, like,
he controls all these
the
universes,
fates
doesn't
of all nerddom.
he? Yeah. It is a lot,
If he
isn't it?
remakes Lord of the Rings, I'm out.
Speaking of Star Wars, have you seen on YouTube Patton Oswalt's 8-minute...
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched
too.
the episode of Parks and Rec, and then I saw,
You saw the outtakes or whatever.
yeah, he was just like
That was good. That was all free, like free
Exactly.
form, extemporaneous.
off top of his head. That was pretty great.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't.
I feel like now I'm in therapy.
No, it's good. I think it's good for you to get it out. I suppose there are probably movie franchises that I would feel that way about. Seriously, if someone did try to redo The Hobbit now after Peter Jackson's treatment, I would think that was silly.
Well, I tried to explain it to my wife, and I was like, imagine if, 20 years from now, they remade The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, remade Harry Potter.
A good example, right?
And the character who played Harry was the most annoying person in the world.
Right.
And you'd be like, that was only
Why
part
would you do that,
of that. Or they never actually address, in the very first remake of Harry Potter, Hogwarts gets destroyed from the timeline.
Yeah, and there's
they'll
a
never be
wormhole.
there again.
Right.
It'd be like, but that kind of was
Well.
Harry Potter. So now there's no Hogwarts. So now what do we do?
Yeah, that's a good point.
know.
Yeah, I would be very upset. Well, and she can.
No one is listening right now. Anyone who began this podcast has long since turned this thing off.
No, all your Star Trek folks will be just.
We don't
eating it
have
up.
any Star Trek folks.
We'll get them.
Make sure we put in the keywords and
Star
tags
Trek,
or whatever.
Trekkie.
Star Trek, Trekkie,
J.J. Abrams
Trekkers,
should die or is a hero. We'll put
Right.
both of them there
Kirk,
and see what happens.
Spock.
Damn the torpedo. No, that's not it. If we engage, is that what... There you go, Yessie. Oh, I'm really sorry. You feel better?
okay.
Are you still going to do the blog post now? Or is it...
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take some time. You want me to do some therapy too now?
Sure.
Do
you have something you do
We're at
after
the church
church?
again.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You'll know now. When this episode goes up, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we went back to that church second time.
That's a big step for you.
It is a big step. Yeah,
Yeah.
we won't be there this week, so we'll be out of town. We're heading out of town for the Memorial Day weekend. But yeah, I liked it all right. Yeah.
There's a 3-date rule. Is that going to be...
I know, right?
Yeah.
They have this thing at the end of the service where you go down if you want to join.
Really?
Yeah.
Every
Wow.
Sunday?
So she said...
Wow.
Yeah, didn't she say the Sunday we were there, you're always welcome to come down, yeah, sir. Or if you want to rededicate your life. Which
Are they looking right at you as they say that?
No, not yet. But by the third time, I think they will be for sure.
Any of you, especially visitors, are able to come to the front if you'd like.
Any young families who are currently untethered. Yeah, I know.
Maybe you've not been to church in a while.
No, I was thinking, and it's funny, 'cause I was thinking about, it's my turn for therapy.
Okay. We need to take a break.
Should we take a break before we jump into my therapy?
We might.
Let's take a break. So I'm glad you got that off your chest about Star Trek. Hopefully, that will increase our fan base amongst geeks or nerds everywhere. Whichever one the Star Trek fans call themselves, whichever applies. And I mean that with love, whichever one it is.
I mean, I'm a fan. I don't identify with any kind of...
Would you ever go to Comic-Con? Or MegaCon?
Not like
or
not and pay money to do
DemonCon?
it. I mean, if I lived in San Diego and so I was like, hey, let's go over there. Sure,
Right.
we'll do it.
I think there's one in Atlanta, isn't there?
There's like a version of it, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't I'm not that into it. I'm not written like fan fiction or something. I don't have a Starfleet uniform.
I wish you would.
In the bedroom for a Klingon. I have a cousin that I was trying to learn to kind of speak Klingon. I think she's just making stuff up.
I was saying, is it codified? Like, can you Google it and you can find verbs and nouns?
I'm sure someone has done that. Right. I don't know that it's, I think she was just making up stuff. Harsh German.
Who's Star Trek? Is that Ray Bradbury?
Roddenberry.
Roddenberry, yeah. Gene Roddenberry, thanks. Yeah. He's Star Trek, right? Mm-hmm. Was he the series creator, or did he write, was it a book first? Do you know?
I don't know.
And I'm not being silly.
I think it was the series.
Was it just the series, Gene Roddenberry?
I think all the writing stuff came after. I believe. I don't know.
So the iteration since Captain Kirk, number 2, New Generation,
Voyager.
Those are all those have been created subsequent to Roddenberry.
Yes.
Jack the Beagle surprised you, didn't he?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Those all came after Roddenberry. Folks just
but I think all of it is still in the spirit of what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah. Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. And they did a prequel to the original series called Enterprise, Captain Archer. Yeah, I watched that.
Is that Jerry Ryan? Is that the lady?
No, she was in Voyager, 7 of 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you followed all of them.
I know. That's what I'm
curious because you like Enterprise the most.
No, I like the Next Generation.
Next Generation. Sorry, forgive me.
Next Generation probably the best, and then Voyager.
So
I didn't watch Deep Space Nine as much. I've only seen a few of that. That came after Voyager.
That's Jerry Ryan, the lady.
No, that's Voyager.
Sorry, Voyager is the name of a series.
You really hung up on Jerry Ryan, aren't you?
Well, I remember her because she was. There was like a controversy with her husband. Her husband was a politician in Illinois when we lived up there.
Oh yeah,
and he got caught in some trouble.
I think she's married to a chef now.
Good for her. Hopefully he's
on the up and up.
Keeping it above board.
You were in Illinois, near Chicago.
Far south, southwest suburbs.
Far south?
Yeah, it's like 80. It's like 45 miles. Yeah, about an hour.
Yeah.
Far southwest suburbs. And you wouldn't know, if you were in the town I lived in, you would not know we were near Chicago because it was very rural. I don't mean that disparagingly. It's just a small little country.
I really love Chicago.
I know you were there recently. Really enjoyed it, didn't you?
Loved it.
This is fun talking about Star Trek with you. It's nice.
You didn't know? Do you know all this was there? Did you?
I feel like I knew that the Next Generation was there because you always talk about Patrick Stewart.
I love him.
Yeah, in that role.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you followed all the series or all the whatevers. Which one was Will Wheaton on?
Next Generation.
That's the one you like.
Yeah. Wesley Crusher.
Yeah. Okay, what did he do?
He was a kid.
Was he an ensign? Is that what they called him?
Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
Eventually, but he was like the doctor's son. Dr. Crusher. Beverly Crusher was his mother.
Oh, who played his mother?
I don't know her name. Huh. See, I'm a fan of the show, but I don't like. I don't class myself as some kind of a Trekkie that has to memorize all the actors and their addresses.
Have you kept up with Will Wheaton since he left the show?
On Twitter.
Yeah, sure.
Like Google Plus or whatever.
I follow him on Google Plus.
He's done a few other things, but I don't. I don't obsess over it. So I feel like I have a healthy relationship with it, but I'm not obsessive. There are other things in my life, like Lost. That became a part of my life as well.
Yeah.
They better never remake that.
Could they? Wouldn't that so sort of enigmatic?
They'll make some movie out of it. It'll be awful.
I never watched Lost either. Was the ending hell? Purgatory? They go to heaven?
Not exactly.
What do you think?
That's too much.
Because get this, I never watched Lost. I watched the last half hour.
Did you really?
Yeah.
The last episode, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I wasn't irate like some people were. And it didn't answer all my questions either. And I didn't expect it to do that. But I think they kind of rushed the last season and the ending a bit. Sure. I didn't care for it as much.
But you think maybe it was some kind of purgatory thing?
Yeah, I think they left it open for people to kind of.
I think some of the show's creators were Roman Catholic, right?
I don't know.
I think one or two of them were.
I mean, there's all kinds of influences. There were definitely biblical influences and philosophical literature. I mean, all kinds of people that they drew from lots of other things for the show. I mean, one of the main characters' name was John Locke.
Right.
So
it's funny to me that you didn't think the smoke monster was jumping the shark.
What?
Wasn't there a thing called the smoke monster on there? You didn't feel like that was jumping the shark?
What are you talking about?
I have no idea. I didn't watch any of the show.
No, it was a part. They didn't
feel like it fit.
Yeah, because they didn't introduce it like that. I mean, they slowly. At first, you didn't know what it was.
Right.
You just saw trees moving. I heard a noise, and It wasn't like this first show, opening minute, here's a smoke monster.
I feel like for me, and maybe this is why I have a hard time with some of those shows. I feel like for me, it either has to be believable, up to the edge, or completely not believable.
See, I was that way with James Bond movies.
Okay.
I don't like any James Bond movies until the latest guy, Daniel Craig.
He's one of my favorite
right?
Bonds.
I like his James Bond
Sure
movies.
do too, yeah.
But I know this is terrible to say, but even prior to that, I didn't like them.
Sure.
Because it was that thing. It was kind of like, should this be believable, or are we like suspending belief?
Right, sure.
If we are, just let me know. Like Star Wars, Star Trek, obviously,
right, it's a whole other thing, right?
You can do what you want because this is not believable. You know, you can make up something and we're just going to buy. But the Bond stuff, it was like, is this supposed to be like within like reality that this could actually be happening?
Right.
But it's not going to happen.
Right.
So I had a hard time with it. But the new guy I like.
I think Daniel Craig's one of my favorite Bonds. I liked Pierce Brosnan okay. But see, now that I've seen Daniel Craig...
Remington Steele?
Right? Yeah. Now I've seen Daniel Craig, it's like, no, everybody pales in comparison.
You think they've patterned these James Bond movies, the latest ones, after the Bourne movies, Jason Bourne?
Oh, that's interesting.
I heard people talk about Jason Bourne was kind of like a more realistic, more of a tough guy.
So there's an example.
Spy.
There's an example of a series I didn't want them to mess with, and they came and did this kind of like a reboot with Jeremy Renner, the Hawkeye from is it Hawkeye? Yeah, from the Avengers. Because Matt Damon said he wasn't gonna make any more movies without the other guy and whatever. That was one I felt kind of protective of. They made what was it called? The Bourne Legacy. They made a Bourne movie without Bourne.
I didn't even see this.
Yeah, it's out. We rented it. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I'm realizing now that I know how you feel about. I think I have a sense anyway of how you feel about. Probably less intensely. Maybe I don't know because it's only 3 movies prior. But I really sort of have a great affection for Matt Damon's Bourne character.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, very, but very believable.
Right, in a sense. I mean, there's some crazy junk. I mean, they're jumping from helicopters to trains and all kinds of weird stuff. And you're like, really? But it stays within like a, you know what, once in a lifetime that probably could have happened.
Well, and you think, someone gets that much training and whatever,
he can suspend the laws of gravity.
That's right. Or
what is that training called?
The best is when he jumps, in the first movie, he jumps from like the 3rd floor inside of a hotel.
It doesn't break anything?
And he has a person beneath him.
Yeah.
So when that person hits, somehow breaks his fall completely.
That always bothers me when I watch movies or TV because I think the people that I know in real life must have the most fragile bones because in the movies they can fall from like 30 feet and there's nothing wrong. They get up and run. They're in car accidents.
They have large supplies.
On purpose. They get out and run.
They have vast quantities of adamantium all over Hollywood.
Right. But people I know fall from like 10 feet up and they break their legs. Yeah, and it's like, what's the difference here? What's going on? Maybe they don't put enough fluoride in the water here.
My grandma fell out of her bed and broke her hip.
So she would not be a good candidate for Secret Service.
No, then she passed. Yeah.
Right. She would not do well as a spy.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of required to jump out of at least
a bed.
2nd-story windows.
At least a bed in a home.
The bed is for fun.
They have nursing home beds at Quantico. All right, first you're gonna fall out of this bed and see how you do. God rest you, Grandma Louise. I love you.
Sorry, we didn't make light of it.
Oh no, she's fine.
Okay,
she's in heaven now. This has been good. So I'm not going to do any therapy.
We've wasted the time talking about frivolousness.
We haven't wasted it.
Thank you.
No conversation about Star Trek is a wasted conversation.
It's just been about movies. Are you excited about other movies that are coming up this summer? This summer,
Man of Steel.
There's lots. Listen, I'm ready for that.
Yeah. Because the dude who plays Superman, I think his name's Henry Cavill or Cavill, British guy. Anyway, he's in a movie called Immortals.
Why are all these British
people? Because they're
people
better,
doing
I think. I said that American actors, yes.
I mean, I'm not docking it at all.
Matt Damon
I am an Anglophile.
But I'm looking forward to Man of Steel a lot.
Oh, yes. I think it looks really great.
I think I'm looking for. So. Here's where it gets tricky, right? I think that movie, The Internship with Vince Vaughn, could be funny, right?
Yeah, it
fun
does.
If it's like $12. Funny.
You remind me of Vince Vaughn. Have I told you that?
I don't have you.
Is that I mean, it's a compliment.
I take it as a compliment. Yeah, other folks have mentioned that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, because I think he's very funny.
It looks like funny.
Yeah,
maybe not family funny.
No. What else though? Because I feel like there are other things I want to see. Man of Steel.
How about Monsters University?
No, I don't care.
I want to see it.
No, it's Pixar or Disney. It'll be good, but I don't really care. What else? Anything else, Joe? I feel like there's something else we want to see.
There is.
I think Hangover 3 could be better, but I don't know if I'm going to go
There's
to it.
There's no need for that.
I know, but I like Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious, and there'll be like 2 jokes that are hilarious, and the rest will be a remake of the first movie.
I know.
The second movie was that.
Second
I mean,
movie
from what my
disappointing.
friends told me. Some of my non-Christian friends told me it was a remake of the first movie.
I really thought there's something. Oh, there's a movie I really want to see.
Yeah?
It's a movie called The World's End. It
Yeah?
is the conclusion of what is commonly called the Cornetto trilogy: Shaun of the Dead,
Okay.
Hot Fuzz, and now The World's End. Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright writes and directs them with Simon Pegg.
Who's
and
in
then
it?
Simon Pegg, Nick
Okay.
Frost. Have you seen Paul, that alien movie?
No.
Okay, no, Scotty from the Star Trek series.
Yeah?
That little fellow who plays Scotty?
Yeah.
That's Simon Pegg.
Okay.
So he was in a movie called Shaun of the Dead a few years ago. Then he was in one called Hot Fuzz. I
Okay.
love both those movies.
I'm not big into zombie
No, totally. No worries.
movies. Not knocking them, just not.
Yeah. No, and then this one is sort of the end of the trilogy. And then speaking of zombies, World War Z looks pretty good with Brad Pitt.
What about Fast and a Furious or 6? Is that on your list of must-see?
Fastest and most agitated? No.
I mean this. I was literally shocked when I saw the preview.
Yeah. I thought
There have
5
been
was it.
6 movies.
Yeah.
Did we need 2
I know.
or 3?
They're just blowing stuff up now.
I don't even know. There are probably we've excluded all of our Faster and Furiouser fans.
All of our nitrous
Nitrous.
listening people. Yeah.
because there probably are a lot who follow this
While they're
podcast.
drag racing.
Yeah, they got this on.
Hit the man hands. I'm about ready to lay down some nitrous.
I don't even know the lingo to sound cool enough to like. Talk
I think lay
about
down
it.
would work, but I'm not sure in what context.
Yeah, Iron Man 3. Did you see that one?
No, we'll probably rent it.
Yeah,
I heard it was a little
saw it.
darker. Not quite as.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, might be
I think I
fine.
talked
But
about it.
I don't really know. Man of Steel's kind of out there. I told someone that I would actually go, like, to the midnight showing or whatever, Man of Steel.
Yeah, I see. There's a few.
End of the World's End. Anything else coming up?
Let's see. The story of WikiLeaks.
Nope.
Penguins 3D.
No, thank you.
There's After Earth.
No.
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 Okay. I'm looking here just to see through a little list here of movies that are coming up. There's Man of Steel, which should be a great one. My Little Pony coming out June 16th. Is that
Yes.
going to be a big one for your family?
Already have my tickets.
World War Z. Have you seen the previews for that?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a zombie movie. Brad Pitt. And
So
that's all I know.
what is the
that
villain?
The zombies.
People crawling on top of each other?
Yes.
That's the villain.
Yes.
That something happens and people begin just crawling on top of each other.
Yes. And I think eating each other. And then Brad Pitt has to save his
I'm
family.
watching the preview. It's like, what are they? Are they running from something?
They're running from zombies. That's the whole point of zombies.
They don't
They're trying
ever
to eat you.
Okay, well, I didn't see the preview. What was going on? I didn't see them like climbing on top of each other to get over a wall.
Those are zombies.
The zombies climb each other to get over walls.
Yes. To get
like
to
ants.
Yes.
Because people were running like insects.
The zombies.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm watching it or not.
Yeah. Zombieland was one of my favorite movies. Speaking of
It
zombies.
looked, there's a movie called White House Down.
I know, right? Olympus Falls or Olympus Fell was just a movie about the same
Here's a
subject.
good
too.
one. Lone Ranger.
Yeah, I want to see that. Army
looks
Hammer. It
interesting.
does look good. Yeah.
Did Johnny Depp look a bit like Captain Sparrow?
Well, he's got the eye.
Playing
That's all
Tonto.
right. I'll let him have it. He's fine.
It's the same kind of guy.
That's
so
fine.
You're okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
okay with quirky Tonto.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'll probably see it.
I will too. I might see that in theaters.
Yeah. Despicable Me 2.
Maybe.
You don't like
We
cartoons.
love Despicable Me,
You
though.
just don't do cartoons.
Not a
do
whole
you?
lot. We love Despicable Me though.
Yeah.
It's so fluffy.
What is the Wolverine?
That's another X-Men movie.
It is the Wolverine.
Yeah. He
nice.
travels in time or something. I can't remember. Or he goes to
What?
Asia. I don't know.
He travels in time,
I'm not
or
sure.
he goes to
It's one of
Asia.
the two. Sometimes those things.
Those
seem
things
very
are so closely
similar, yeah.
connected.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you go to Japan, it's like
Is he going backwards in time,
he goes to Asia. I was right.
or forward in time?
No, if you go to Asia, it's like traveling forward.
Which
'cause you're like
way?
a day ahead.
Is it backward or forward?
It's forward.
Asia is always forward.
Yes, tip of the hat to Japan.
Oh, I got you.
Good job,
You mean
Japan.
like timeline?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I don't think Our Nixon. Probably a Tyler Perry movie this summer. I don't know. I haven't
Probably.
seen one of those.
Peoples. Isn't Peoples coming
I'm
out?
sure there's one of those.
Isn't there a movie called Peoples? Yeah, it's coming out. I'm not being silly.
Oh, have you seen the preview for? Is it Elysium?
No.
Why did you sound so condescending when you said that?
Who's in it?
I don't know, but it was about. I think it's Matt Damon. Aha! There you go.
Well, it depends.
And now you're back on
He has a
board.
couple movies I don't like. Talented Mr. Ripley, I'll never forgive him for that.
Yeah.
This one might be the worst movie ever.
In a world where two classes of people exist in the year 2159, the very wealthy who live on a pristine man-made space station called Elysium, and the rest who live on an overpopulated, ruined Earth.
So we're going to turn your microphone off.
It looked maybe interesting. I need to see another preview and see if it's just going to be a waste of time or not. But Matt Damon basically goes to like thwart or change
Oh, no, let me stop you right there.
the two classes system.
Thor 2.
It's called Thor 2?
Is it Thor 2 or is it called Thor the Dark,
You wanna watch
Thor,
that
Dark
one?
World? I like Thor, yeah. I like Thor a lot. He's one of my
Did
favorite
you really?
Avengers. Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Really, Star Trek? Don't start throwing stuff around.
No, I mean...
Everybody picks what they like.
Okay. No, I'm
Don't
just...
start throwing
I'm
stuff
surprised
around.
you have high standards.
What's his name?
You know, I have no standards. You have high standards.
Hemsworth, the
The guy that
actor.
plays Thor?
Really like him.
Really?
I gotta believe in the
He's
actor.
the same character in every movie, right?
There's only been 2.
Has he been other things?
Yes,
He was a
in
brother
Thor.
too, though, right?
No. He was in Thor and he was in Avengers. I liked him in both those movies. Yeah.
No,
I
he's
also
been,
like
he's been in other movies.
not as Thor.
No, is a different
Oh, I
character.
don't know. Maybe he was in Red Dawn.
I'm
I don't-
saying he plays the same
Yeah,
character.
I
in
won't
every-
follow actors blindly anymore.
Right?
Like I wouldn't see Red Dawn because Hemsworth was in it, but I will follow Hemsworth as Thor because
You liked
I
it.
like him as Thor.
I didn't mind it. It felt a little kind of weird to me.
That's fair.
I mean, it just kind of felt like a little
I'll give it to you.
odd. Did you follow the comic book character? Or just kind
No, I don't care about all that. No.
of... Well, I didn't
Hit the
either.
movie at face value.
Okay.
All right, so we're out of time.
Really? We're just getting started.
No, we're out of time. Trust me.
We've got a lot more movies to look at.
Listen, one 84-year-old still listening to us. We're sorry. Follow us at Manhands Podcast. Facebook.com, Manhands Meatloaf. Find us on iTunes. Mike's still looking at movies.
Yeah, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too. It's
My
gonna be
name's
on
Steven.
this fall.
Be good. I'll see that one. Cloudy 2?
Yeah.